Oh, the lighting's really nice here too.
Which thing am I talking about? So I'm talking about how the camera is shielding you from actual intimate connection with people who you're talking to,
Right.
and you're using them as data points rather than as, I don't know what the other thing, what a term for that would be, but as connection points.
Yes.
So instead of building a social connection, you're mining information.
Correct. To find just,
To
going
figure
through,
out how
to go
to
through this filter.
eventually optimize social connection.
Yeah, and I was saying that initially I could admit that, and then I would just say, oh no, clearly this is just a filter to find those who are willing to challenge me and point that out. So clearly you have passed this, and now you
Now you're still
receive.
doing it, so your behavior has not changed.
Okay, here, try this then.
Okay.
All right. How do you feel?
Alright. I feel very weird.
This needs to be
You're like, first learn how to use a camera and then you can talk to me. Wow, it's a lot brighter through the camera lens.
Yes.
I feel weird. I feel like I'm talking to you on Skype.
Ah, excellent. That's totally how I grew up. Actually, so that's also something I recognize. I grew up everything mostly of all of my social relationships I fostered online.
Why was that?
Because it was the easiest and most readily available, and I was able to juggle as many data points as possible and filter for just the richest parts of my communications, because why else care about any of the fluff?
Well, but what about your relationships with your immediate family members?
It was like a lot of texting and
Texting with your family members? How old are you?
what would you guess?
I have no idea.
Just as many data points as you have. I was just curious if you guess.
Like
I'll tell you.
27.
Oh man, really? Okay.
Take a shower and then turn
Is that because of the context of the people that were around?
The people around are older than that.
Really?
I would say that they're 32 to 45.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you 23?
Well, thinking about that now, that's 1 year off.
Which one? 23? You're 22? Or 24? Okay, well 24 and 27 are not that far apart.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious how you guess. But and how I can modulate the number.
It was more just based on how much younger I thought you were than me.
Oh, I see. Because the data point of texting, you don't text your parents much.
Right.
Also,
I'm the first person I know who had a cell phone when I was 14.
whoa. Okay, I didn't even. Okay, well, so I never feel so. Alright. Anyway, so I generally rationalize or explain why I'm in the current position, even if it's bad or obviously suboptimal.
So you immediately go into defensive posture.
I don't know if it's defensible. So yes.
Well, justifying something, regardless of what you actually think about it, is kind of... Well, you're defending something rather than thinking it through and actually dealing with whether it is the right thing to do or not.
Yes, and I think I do this. Oh man, see exactly. So I can't. It's very difficult for me to absorb that because I always want to explain everything because that's more science-based rather than like emotionally actually changing or making myself.
Feelings are facts.
Sure. And if I continuously smother them, stomp on them, then I won't have to deal with repercussions of them.
Yeah, that works really well.
To some extent,
It works
temporarily.
Yes, there we go.
Other than that, I think that I have been able to do that so long successfully that it's not been an issue. And
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
maybe artificially confident because of the most recent relationship where everything was fantastic and I was like, wow, this is great, but again, there's just more balance.
He pretended to be
Like, I should produce more because when you're so content, you're much less likely to want to produce.
and so they discharged him for free.
Ooh, I can see, okay, oh man, I really want to argue with you except that I sort of agree with you.
Why not?
Okay.
All right.
No money and no
How do I argue with you even though I agree with you? So, All right.
And we managed to like get a ride from the local voters. And
There's this really interesting person who developed a tool for activists who are always getting burnt out.
Always getting burnt out? Okay.
So like these were the people who were in the rainforest.
Man, this totally sounds like I should write down too. Okay.
Her name's Joanna Macy,
Okay.
and her her practice was called the work that reconnects. She got a doctorate in Buddhist studies or Buddhist like religion or something from Berkeley.
MACY?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I grew up here in an activist community, and so her work was always present as me coming up.
And I'm writing down the keywords as tool for activists, burnt out. Okay, tool for burnt out activists.
So part of this, so her cycle is really interesting. It
Okay.
goes, so I've been trying to design games around this for
Yes.
a similar reason. So you start
Okay.
with gratitude,
Okay.
and then you go into remorse,
Okay.
and then you go into connecting with what's important, and then you go into action. So sort of future action. She has much more clever terms for these that I can't.
Gratitude, remorse, action. Okay.
Now the thing is, psychologically,
And
if
my
you're trying
phone
to block
died.
out,
Yeah. Sorry. Keep going.
if you're trying to block out the negativity,
Yeah.
you're not able to creatively think
Mm-hmm.
of positive alternatives if you haven't thought through all of the negative shit.
Yeah.
So psychologically, you can't actually think of new ways to solve a problem until you've dealt with your fears. And another really interesting place that they noticed this was in the game World Without Oil, where they're having people
Is
imagine.
that Jane McGonigal's?
She didn't do it.
Okay.
Ken Eklund did it, but she did write about it.
Ah, okay.
So they have people imagine this future where there's an oil crisis, and
Yeah.
so they start in that game. They started saying all these horrible things that would happen, but then it's
Right.
like, okay, well, once all the horrible things have happened, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like you need to let go of the feelings and the images that you're sort of repressing and not dealing with in order to be able to free your mind up for the creative.
Ah.
What else is possible?
Okay.
And it's the same with feelings, at least I find.
Right. I want to say. Man. Okay. Here. My gut reaction is that I want to say, well, clearly I just easily jumped from this position that I'm in to immediately adapting and calibrating my beliefs, so it's not even an issue. It's really maybe it's to waste time being ashamed for stuff. Which is actually also another interesting thing because I feel Asian culture like cultivates shame in fields. Uses that as a tool to manipulate other people into doing things or like not doing things. Call from my friend. I told to meet me here. So I'm gonna end.
I'm going to continue to document this.
Well, hey Johnny, what's going on? I'm on video right
The cats are more used to dogs than the new dog is used to cats, right?
Dale and Williams is super close. You guys are Williams like got a bunch of people outside.
The way I got the cat is
Bring them down to like a little
pregnant
so just go down the street.
the shelter to birth the litter in her house. Her husband was allergic to cats. So he said, yeah, we can do this. You gotta get rid of them when they're old enough.
Don't know, but let me ask. I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
Mom went back to the shelter.
You think I'm going to let you go in 5 minutes?
We can walk around while talking, right? That's okay. I just want to make it obvious and easy for me, right? So much of life is making life easy for others. And you are sitting down. Now, I don't actually know if you want to do that, but he said he is at the corner of like Cuernavaca, Dale, or something.
All right.
But
how do I keep recording you?
we can keep recording. How's this going? Sure. All you have to do is just focus with this little wheel over here. Hey,
Okay.
you guys going to Free Space Party? Oh no, but do you want to go there? No. Okay.
But if you were leaving, I was going to say goodbye.
Oh, thank you. Because
We're not.
I'm waiting for a friend who's going to come by. I just wanted to make it easy for him to see where we were. He said he was at the corner of Dale and Cuernavaca, and I have no idea where that was, but I wanted. Do you know what? Oh,
Dale.
Dale's this way?
Dale is this road, perpendicular to this. So you go to the corner.
Go to the corner.
Go to the corner where Lucky is.
Okay. I'm just gonna walk down the middle of the street and tell them that's okay. Thank you. I'll see you soon. I'll be right
All right, continue telling me about shame and Asian culture.
Oh yeah.
While I
shame
keep
and
you
Asian
in
culture,
frame.
How frequently people or Asian families use that to, I think, control other people, but also not just that. I've also recognized that control meant a whole lot to me, feeling like I was more in control, but unnecessarily so. And I think that had a lot to do with Asian moms feeling like they need to totally be in control of everything.
And did you relate more to your mom than your dad?
I just spent more time around with her because she was the one who raised me, and my dad is was generally at work.
Okay.
But I mean, I had weekends and at night. But I don't know. I guess she was more the influence that was don't do this and don't do that. Anyways, what else was I talking about? I was talking about. Oh yeah. So now I'm coming on the opposite end of why would I ever feel that? I'm really glad that now I no longer really have to feel guilt or shame. How is it ever a useful mechanism in anyone's life? And so I try to just bypass that, or try to, I don't really feel like I'm noticing or experiencing the effects, or at least that's what I profess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm more focused on implementing action and immediately updating beliefs, because that is.
Explain what you mean by that.
So earlier in the car, there was Adam and I had a conversation where he pointed out that I was conflating
The human
condition
experience.
endemic to humanity versus American culture, which has something to do with consumerism and how we consistently, or how I perceive that we, as humans, instead of as American culture, underestimate what they have and overestimate what they don't have. And this is around where my friend should be. I'm gonna message him. He's probably over back there. And so he pointed out, and he was relatively articulate in doing so. And I think maybe Andy or you helped to reinforce that and make me better understand what I was saying and how inaccurate it was. Or not inaccurate, but it was a non sequitur, or it does not follow just because my perception is that many people consistently underestimate what they have and overestimate what they don't have. It's not necessarily because they're human, but more just because I've been exposed to most of the American culture and all that. And so I said, okay, well, that's interesting. I'm glad that I can update my belief in that way and no longer have to.
But what about an actually emotional context? Because that was so what you're describing is just not being overly attached to your ideas, and so not feeling defensive when someone challenges your ideas.
Yeah, you're right.
So what if it was actually how? So you're saying sort of you've surpassed the need for dealing with your emotions or for having them.
I think I'm just. I also like extremes, and I say these things, and I'm like, do I fit that? Do I actually feel like that? That's accurate. Well, so we'll go for that. We'll go with that for now, and then I'll let you know. Let me text. I'm at Dylan Williams. Okay, I'm gonna just message that, and then this is much more obvious for him, and then I can be more articulate and specific and focused, which is never the case. Dylan and Williams, which is also very interesting because. Constant meta. So in emotional context, I'm trying to think of an example where I would want to update my beliefs in an emotional context. So I am at Dale and Williams, right by the CVS or Long's or something. I believe so. I don't even know if it's I'm just on the corner. It's much more obvious, and it's right off El Camino. I think you come down Dale and away. It's 1 block away from El, or I think it's 1 block away from El. All right, great, no problem. All right, I'll be right here. No, see you soon. Bye.
So, is your camera a new way of being shiny?
It's one of the ways, but it's like one of the many ways. Like this camera on my neck and a camera or my long fingernails and my hair. It's like all these mechanisms to meet more people who are observant and expressive. I say that's like 40% of it, maybe 60% of it. I'm just naming these numbers. And like 20% of it is like because I feel better about myself because if an organism or if a species can afford to take the time to do things like spend a ridiculous amount of time spiking their hair in the morning, boy, this person must be plentiful or abundant in resources.
But I'm more interested in particularly examining the camera mechanic.
Okay, this camera or the camera that...
Any camera mechanic.
Hey, Johnny, great seeing you.
You too, man.
All right. So,
Hi.
Hi. They're just using this camera to turn the tables and talk with me about like the deepest motivations or some things of my background and how I can be more...
Great, he's a great subject. I'll stand over
Oh,
here and watch.
actually, this timer may have... Oh, okay, it's good. Okay, but we got 4 minutes left until it will stop recording.
Okay.
And then we can start it again, which is no problem.
And look at how we just avoided having
We can
social
walk this way.
interaction with this
Oh,
new
see,
person who
exactly.
came up
That's
because he
true.
feels completely not included
You
in
know
this
what?
little
Okay,
experiment
so
we're
in this
doing.
case, we'll just stop this then. There's a...
No, I want to see. Go ahead.
Sure, there's novel value, actually, of you as this new entity and this engagement and...
Would you like
social
to be
dynamic
filmed in a
relation.
conversation with him, or
no,
would
no.
you want to hold the camera?
I could hold the camera.
All right.
I'll
So
put this
you
around my-
zoom and you focus with your feet, as in you get farther and closer to the person. You can focus with this, but it's just focus.
Oh, jeez.
Do you have contacts?
Yeah, they're crazy,
Yeah, they're
huh?
amazing, exactly.
We were just talking about contacts that like did a similar thing, but what did yours do?
They're
They're
just
blue.
they're just blue.
Well, they make girls look deeply into your eyes.
So do I start right now?
No, it's already going. So you
Okay,
don't have to touch anything,
okay.
hopefully.
And let me experiment a little bit with the.
Sure, totally. Experiment. That's what life is about. Just do it and learn as you go along.
So we created an observer conversation.
Oh my
Actually-
God,
oh,
this
man.
is so cool.
Whereas if we didn't have the camera, we would have a third participant and
Okay.
we'd be getting to know him.
So I should just hire observers. Actually, that's true. Throughout most of my life, I've played the role of an observer, and I've consistently just been an observer. I've been paid to be an observer, so like consistently been awarded in my life for being an observer. That's because that's like jobs are paid for, and that's what.
But how
was
does that
recognized.
how does that feel that you're deeper need for social connection?
I guess that's not as much of an urgent, pressing.
But it's what you're working towards.
So yes, and so that's like the diminishing marginal utility of if I can affect 1,000 people and start specific
So
conversations.
you're sacrificing your own social connection, but how are you going to understand it?
Well, that's okay because I feel like I already have had like really deep and intimate and emotional connections with other people in the past, so I can just use those models.
Specifically, or have you learned how to create those moments with anyone?
Not with anyone, but like specifically with people, of course. Not with anyone, because everyone has like different things they're optimizing for.
But some people manage to like create, like when you talk to them, they like bring you in and feel very intimate with those people, feel connected.
What I'm hearing is that I am a very cold person who you don't at all feel related to. That's something. How do you deal with this, Alton? How are you so cold?
I'm just saying, as someone who's working towards like social connection, I've been talking a lot about that.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that, and that's fascinating.
Yes. Because the inclination here is to do something that's infinitely scalable. And if I post this say online, then now you are. Oh, yeah, 4 minutes. Does it still say recording? Is it flashing up there?
It's still flashing.
Okay. How much time do we have left? There's a number ticking down.
Number ticking down.
Doesn't really matter. Just start and stop the recording.
1 minute and 8 seconds.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna stop.